The stage is set for one of the most spectacular events on the reef. We're about to witness one of the greatest mass synchronized events on the planet. A Great Barrier Reef miracle, heralded by a full moon. It always happens at night in the hottest months of the year. Yet it looks a little like a wintry underwater snowstorm. This dazzling pageant is coral polyps spawning. This magical show happens just once a year and lasts only a couple of days. It stars the tiny creatures that create the Great Barrier Reef's most famous feature, its colorful maze of corals. There are a myriad of different ways the living reef reproduces, and they are all a miracle of nature. All part of the rich cycle that sustains life on the Great Barrier Reef. This mystical animal was once the subject of legendary tales told by ancient mariners. And he's as strange looking as he is rare. A large cloud of sand is a sure sign that a dugong is here, busy foraging for food. Using his large snout, he filters the ocean floor for his favorite seagrass. With a ferocious appetite, he can devour up to 40 kilos in a single day. Looking more like an elephant than a sea creature, he glides effortlessly to the surface for air. He can hold his breath for up to 6 minutes at a time. A casual yawn reveals 2 large and powerful tusks. Descending for another feed, a couple of unwelcome remora fish are along for the ride, despite the dugong's objections. These freeloaders of the sea attach themselves to the dugong, where they eat leftover meals and parasites. Unfortunately, the love affair is not mutual, with the frustrated dugong anxious to rid himself of the pesky intruders who overstay their welcome. He's had enough and tries to shake them off, making clever use of the ocean floor to brush them free once and for all. The remoras take the hint and decide to leave for greener pastures, leaving our dugong, affectionately known as the sea cow, to continue grazing in peace and quiet. When you are traveling vast distances out in the open ocean, finding a good meal is not always easy. This young green turtle spots an unlikely meal when a large jellyfish swims into view. She wastes no time devouring the meal, one tentacle at a time. With an inquisitive minke whale looking on, she goes back for more. Tearing flesh apart with her powerful beak. With a specialized digestive tract, the turtle is immune to the jellyfish's sting. Finally, with a full stomach, it's time to move on and continue with her epic Great Barrier Reef journey. This shell looks friendly enough, but its inhabitant is one of the deadliest on the reef. Also, one of the strangest looking. He's the geography cone snail, and what makes him so unique is that instead of a tongue, he has a lethal harpoon made for killing. Stalking at night, he has his prey in sight. Hunting by stealth, he moves in on a sleeping fish. If patience is the key to fishing, this snail is the master. He opens his mouth wide and releases an anesthetic that stuns. The fish skips a heartbeat as she inhales. Her peaceful slumber is about to be rudely awakened with every fish's worst nightmare. The cone snail engulfs her whole before his harpoon tongue strikes like a hypodermic needle. Her death throes agonizing and frightening. Mother Nature may not have blessed the cone snail with speed, but he's still one of the reef's most lethal predators. This dozing fish is about to become a second victim. This time to a relative of the geography cone, the smaller striated cone snail. She's not fussy about the type of fish on her reef menu, as long as the size is right. And this unsuspecting fish looks like the perfect mouthful. Slowly, she moves in for the attack. And in an instant, she stabs the fish with a lethal harpoon. The fish has no chance, and within a few seconds, it's devoured whole. Life on the Great Barrier Reef can be a fragile, sometimes perilous existence. This strange sound has put world defense forces on alert. Concerned it's coming from an enemy submarine. In reef waters, though, this odd metallic echo has a far friendlier interpretation. It means the dwarf minkies are back in town. These majestic whales are not official residents of the Great Barrier Reef, but it's their second home. They travel here every Australian winter for a couple of months of vacation to play, mingle, and breed. In the same way we're passionate about whale watching, the adolescent minkies delight in people watching and seem to genuinely enjoy the interaction. Strictly controlled, this is the one place on Earth where people can interact in this up-close and personal way with the dwarf minkies. Dwarf minkies, as their name implies, are relatively small in the whale world, but still mammoth in the sea, growing up to 8 meters and tipping the scales at 5 to 6 tons. Yet they move with amazing grace. Almost as if they're floating on air in these pristine waters. These repeat visitors are curious about everyone and everything, yet they don't give away too much about themselves. Minkies are the ocean's mammals of mystery. No one's quite sure where they're heading, or even where they came from. Scientists believe some of the minkies that visit here are from Antarctica, and when they reach the Great Barrier Reef, they travel about 2,500 kilometers from its southern end until they congregate and settle around the ribbon reefs in the north. Anything beyond that, the minkies like to keep secret. Dusk is a magical time on the Great Barrier Reef, beckoning fragile turtle babies into the world. Their mother has long since returned to the ocean, and they're now all on their own. Guided only by instinct, which steers them towards the ocean. The solitary existence of these ancient creatures begins the moment they break free from their sandy hollows. It's a long and lonely crawl, fraught with danger. These tenacious turtles will do it tougher than all the rest. Their sandy nest has turned into sodden silt, an extremely rare and devastating occurrence, because they emerge blinded by mud. This turtle is the leader of the pack. Brave, adventurous, and so vulnerable. Running blind, even the smallest obstacles become a major hurdle. The slightest sand ripple catches him by surprise. All of a sudden, he flips over, and it's a life or death situation. With every ounce of strength, he somehow manages to right himself. He's a fighter, but any further slip-up from here will leave him vulnerable to an army of hungry terns who patrol the skies. Against all the odds, he conquers the mountain and continues with his perilous journey towards the sea. But for others, their journey will not be so fortunate. somber reality of the green sea turtle world is that just 1 in every 1,000 babies will live to adulthood. It's simply nature's way. A fragile balance of life and death for all the Great Barrier Reef's residents. For every fallen hero, there's a heroine. Here, the cycle of life continues, as it has for millions of years. Magical and wonderful, wild and free. This water baby will continue her fight to survive in the seas. If she can outwit her predators, she will return to Rain Island one day, just like her mum. Navigating the oceans by instinct on an epic journey that will bring her back here to give birth to her young. And the extraordinary green sea turtle nesting ritual will continue again and again. This is the Great Barrier Reef, a living treasure.